is the Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie podcast.
How good is that?
Welcome to a brand new podcast for EduKate. Welcome, ladies.
Hello.
Lizzie and Jess.
Hi.
Hi. I think I'm just going to throw it straight over to you today, Lizzie, and tell us what we're being educated about, what we're doing. It has a Taylor Swift skew, thank goodness.
Yeah, well, I was thinking after last week when we were talking about the Met Gala and fashion, why not talk a bit about Taylor's fashion, especially considering, as we've just seen, she's kicked off her Eras tour again, this time in Paris only last week or this week? Last week? I can't remember.
Over the last 7 days.
All a blur of sequins, isn't it? And she's debuted basically a whole new wardrobe for each era. So, which is obviously really exciting. I feel sad we didn't get to see these outfits in the flesh, but you know.
It's funny, isn't it? Because I think that here in Australia, there were people on the other side of the world complaining that Australia got it really good.
Yeah.
And that there were certain songs that we got to hear that other people didn't, or things had been shifted slightly.
You're never going to be happy for another country, are you, if you've missed out on something?
No.
You need to put it in perspective. If we got that, we wouldn't have got what we got, which was amazing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But it makes sense for it to be a little bit revamped. There is the brand new album.
Yes.
All new costumes, I have to say. I'm a bit jealous I didn't get to see.
Yeah.
But let's think about Taylor here. She's the one taking to the stage every night over the course of what? A 12-month period? I think she's allowed to mix it up and keep it
fresh.
Keep it fresh.
Us here at EduKate will allow.
Yes.
Obviously, we all saw that she's added a bit to the set list, which is the Tortured Poets department.
Yeah.
How do we all feel about that, first of all?
Can I say something?
Yeah.
Okay, so on Instagram, we had some very smart Swifties pick up that Taylor had posted some rehearsal images, and they saw that the background dancers and singers were wearing like top hats and had canes, and they were like, there is no song on the Eras tour currently that has that. So they kind of knew that something was coming, and then we saw a little bit of a sign of a TTPD, Tortured Poets Department. So they kind of knew that something was up, and I feel like she did that to almost ease us into it and soften the blow. Yeah. That yes, I've been, I've done the US already, I've done Asia, I've done Australia. That there is going to be a difference, and rather than us all find out when we're watching the Paris live stream and freak out and be a little bit mad about it, instead there was anticipation and excitement. Will she do it or won't she? Like, what are the hats and the canes?
I love that. That's actually very considerate.
I think she was considerate.
I didn't think about it like that.
Yeah,
because I remember DMing that to you, and we were like, no. But
I know.
Also, you're so right. It's better that we maybe knew a little bit before.
I think so, and I think I just touched on this earlier, but for me, the Tortured Poets department is still so new that with the songs that she took out from the set, like she took the one out. Remember we were saying, I really hope she plays the one. It's my favourite song. If I hadn't heard that, and instead I heard So High School, which is a song that is I like, but I don't really connect with yet because it hasn't sat with me for that long, I'd probably be disappointed. So I think we saw the concert we were meant to see, and
things always work out the way they're meant to
hopefully
work
we'll go
out.
to Canada or something.
Yeah, wouldn't that be nice? I will ask then, do you think that the next time she tours, after a holiday that she deserves, does that mean she might come back to the countries she's already done just to tour Tortured Poets department and then not, say, do Europe?
I'd say no.
Yeah, I don't. So this album, Tortured Poets department, and I think it's why we got 31 tracks, it's not really a touring album. So it wouldn't ever get an album cycle and a tour cycle on its own. Like 1989, for example, got a whole 1989 concert, as did Reputation. She wouldn't ever do it with Tortured Poets, which is why I think she felt that freedom to be able to release so many tracks and the type of songs they are, because she knew that they were only ever going to be a few songs at the end of the Eras tour, that she wouldn't have to actually tour the whole thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bit like releasing Folklore and Evermore in lockdown. She goes, I know that these aren't going to go wild in front of a crowd. Like they would, but not in the same way that Shake It Off would. So that I'm releasing them now because of how the world is.
Okay, does that mean that the costumes that they would have had made especially for Tortured Poets department, maybe even the top hats or whatever, will be selling for cheap on eBay because she won't need to take them anywhere?
You can get May some.
Even the album Lover, she was meant to do something called Lover Fest, which was going to be like a festival all for Lover, and they think a lot of the microphone stands and the microphones that she has on the Eras Tour for Lover were meant for Lover Fest. So we've kind of gotten a little taste of
that's interesting. I
what
didn't know
that would have been like, maybe. But she was very upset by that.
Yeah, as you would be. I mean, there were 3 albums that we missed being toured, and then she announces the tour, so obviously Midnight goes into that. But it's like, that's a lot, which makes sense as to why she's done the Eras Tour, because we never would have got to see these songs performed live.
Yeah, okay.
You'll always hear the big ones, obviously, at every show, because that's how she puts them on.
Yeah.
But, like, to hear all the ones, you know, that are like the deep cuts or the fan faves, you probably won't really hear again.
Okay.
And another little Easter egg for you, the song Mirrorball on Folklore is about Loverfest being cancelled, part of it. So if you go and listen to it through that lens, you might be able to...
I didn't. No, I didn't even know that. All right, I will when I have a re-listen.
But going back to her outfit, so the ones that she's debuted on the Eras Tour, they're actually all... I didn't know this, and I feel like I probably should have known this, but she's got really high-end designers designing all of her tour outfits. So the Lover bodysuit, for example, is custom Versace. Her Reputation bodysuit is custom Roberto Cavalli, and you'll have to correct me if I'm saying any of these.
No, that is correct. That's the one-legged one with the python up the side.
Yeah. Her boots and shoes are all Christian Louboutin. Her Speak Now dresses are Ellie Saab, who's also designed a lot for Kate Middleton. Yeah. Her Midnight's bodysuit is Oscar de la Renta.
Which bodysuit?
The Midnight's blue bodysuit at the end.
Oh, yeah, okay.
But the Tortured Poets Department dress, which debuted, which we've all seen, is the big white dress with the writing down the side of I love you, it's ruining my life, is all custom Vivienne Westwood. So she's really putting out all the stops.
Which is interesting because I know that they have a costume team. Obviously, all touring acts do, but especially Taylor, and where they have all the eras and all the backing dancers are in costumes and everything.
Yeah.
I wonder why they go with a big, well-known, probably expensive designer when really you could have anyone make that costume.
I guess,
it's a costume.
but it's couture, isn't it? She's gone couture rather than say like having a wardrobe designer create. Look, I don't know, but I think this is quite like this for a change.
Yeah, I mean, and this is what I've kind of wanted to talk about. So I read this article on The Cut called "The Real Reason Taylor Swift Dresses Like That." And it's kind of long been discussed and debated that Taylor doesn't have the most sophisticated of styles, whether that's on stage or off stage with her street style. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion.
What do you think?
Well, it's not for me personally. Love her. But, you know, she probably wouldn't like my style maybe. You know, we all like different things.
Well, you were wearing leggings and Crocs yesterday.
Yeah, because it was Activewear Mondays.
Is that a thing in here?
Apparently.
Oh, I've been doing activewear on Fridays.
Yeah.
I didn't get that memo at all.
Neither.
Maybe I'm not allowed to wear my activewear on any of the days.
That would be
you
preferred.
were left off the email.
Yeah, I didn't get it either. Weird.
The Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie podcast.
The fashion editor from The Cut, who was also the fashion editor at the New York Times, her name's Kathy Horan, I think you pronounce it. She's come up with a theory, which I kind of love because we love Taylor Swift theories here.
Big time.
As to why Taylor dresses the way that she does on stage and off stage. And I really want to know what you guys think about this because I think it's so interesting. So Kathy says that it's no surprise that Taylor's style and outfits betray self-consciousness, that one senses she isn't entirely comfortable with high fashion, and it's a way that she actually helps her fan base relate to her. Her image is one of a woman still coming of age and still discovering herself, and any style that is too sophisticated or eccentric would spoil that illusion of accessibility to her. What do we think about that?
I think that works in two parts. One, she's correct because that is right. Like when you see like a Kim Kardashian who's wearing a whatever the amount might be, and you know I can't dress like that, and they'll be like rip off clothes and stuff, but you can't. It's not actually attainable, and I think that's probably what someone like a Kim wants.
Yeah.
So I think that is true with Taylor. It keeps the fans connected. But on the flip side, I think we kind of see from when we get a glimpse into her life that isn't a super public facing, I don't even mean an event, but I mean like a thing where she knows she's going to be papped, for example.
Yeah.
Like if she's just at home and we see a video or whatever.
Yeah.
The style is like that. It is very like low key, and it's quite nice to see an insight into what she wears, and it's definitely not designer things.
No, and it's all very girl next door and denim and, skirts, like things that you could see your friends wearing or a girl that you know wearing.
Well, you can see yourself in her outfits, can't you? Because
Yeah.
you well, firstly, a lot of people, I don't know whether she sets the trends, but she surely, you see a photo of Taylor Swift and a lot of young women are dressing like that before you know it.
Yeah.
But also they can, because it isn't a Kim Kardashian look. And I find, and maybe I can say it because I'm newer to the party, you're right. When I think of Taylor, I don't think of her as some kind of fashion icon. I think she's much more than that. And to speak for Taylor, I almost feel as though she's more comfortable when she's not that anyway. I see her as more of herself when she's more casual, or even when she's kind of in a tracksuit in the recording studio or something. And there's a big difference between someone like her and I keep going back to Kim Kardashian, or we do, because it's a perfect example, is that when there's a difference between someone wearing a frock or a gown or the couture that they've been dressed in and it wearing them. So
Yes, I love that.
I find sometimes with Taylor, she looks more at ease when she's wearing something that is more accessible to all of us.
Yeah.
Whereas when she's really dressed, like, okay, I'm going to be controversial here. When she won the Grammy most recently and she announced the new
Yes.
album,
Yeah.
and she had it was very vampy and almost a wet hair look.
Yep.
And I think it was a white skirt that had a split and a corset and
Yep.
really big heels and the leg out.
And the choker.
The big choker. I thought the outfit was wearing Taylor.
Would 100%
Taylor
agree.
wasn't wearing, like, don't get me wrong, she looked amazing. She said all the things we wanted to say. There was a brand new album on the way. She won. She made an incredible speech. But I wanted to see the more palatable Taylor.
Yeah.
For me, Does that make
100%.
sense?
Yeah, and I'm with you. I didn't rate that outfit
No,
at all.
and it's so funny because this writer actually in the article mentions that that she felt the same way. She actually thought it was one of her worst outfits. It kind of made more sense when we realised it was the Tortured Poets Department theme, and we all kind of got it. But she said the same thing. She actually said that was one of the only times she's felt like very alienated from Taylor, and like she couldn't really get. Do you know what I mean?
That's a great point, because if you think
Didn't
about
make
it,
sense.
Yeah.
she always dresses for her era, and I
Yes.
think that sometimes she gets a bit too into the character that comes with whatever era that might be, like the poet or
Yeah.
like the
Like it becomes like a themed
it's like a theme.
party.
Exactly. Like, remember all of the two-piece sets with like the 1989. It's like all she wore, and she became known for that.
Yeah.
And
Lover was absolute madness.
yeah, oh my gosh, you've never seen so many rainbows. Even at a gay pride parade. Yeah, it's just interesting that when we feel most connected to her, in even just saying that, it's not when she's dressed up and is playing what feels like that role. It's like when we're watching a video and she's, singing King of My Heart with her electric guitar on the ground. She's in like a sloppy Joe or something.
But
Yeah.
maybe that's how you first met her as well. If you're a true Taylor fan, and when you first, like, wasn't it a kind of a young girl in a lounge room strumming on a guitar?
No, she actually was always quite put together
Was
in
she?
little dresses and curls and cowboy boots. But that was still very subdued. Like, the dresses that she was wearing looked like dresses that, you could buy at Target, really.
Yeah.
She was so cute. That era was so cute.
It's interesting now you think about it. She's kind of been polished her whole career
Yeah.
on one side, which is that public appearances side, but then we do see that other low-key relaxed when we get that insight into her private life. And
Yeah.
that's very interesting, because I know she plays two sides of the coin, one being the singer, which is where, all the money is made, and one being the songwriter, which is where all the genius comes from. And they obviously meet in the middle to be able to create the product
You need-
and brand
you
that
need
she
both
is.
sides,
But you do
yeah.
need both sides. And I think for her, you probably can't write the songs that she writes sitting in Louboutins or whatever, because that's not
100%.
what connects you to the
No.
lyrics that you're saying.
No, and going back to how she used to dress in her earlier years, so Kathy says that her outfits often evoke a feeling of nostalgia and almost a feeling of pageantry, high school proms and old-style debutante parties. And Taylor has joked herself, actually, about how she used to dress when she was about 21 and 22 during the Red era. And I'll just play a bit for you now of what she said there.
I promise you, you're probably doing or wearing something right now that you will look back on later and find revolting and hilarious. You can't avoid it, so don't try to. For example, I had a phase where, for the entirety of 2012, I dressed like a 1950s housewife.
And I love that. And she's consciously not trying to get above her fans' tastes or means ever, I feel like.
Yeah.
And even if we look at how she dresses at the Super Bowl or at Travis's games now, she's dressing in a way where she knows that she's the spectator and she's not in the spotlight at that moment.
Well, I know it's nice for you to say that. I think she knows she is in the spotlight because that's out of her hands.
Yeah.
Regardless of what Taylor does, everyone is going to be looking at her, but she's not rocking up wanting it to be about
No.
her. I quite liked that she was going to those games originally in the gear.
Chiefs
Yeah.
red.
Not thinking, oh my goodness, the world's going to be watching.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to be taking a photo of me on the sideline or
Yeah.
we're in the box with mum. I really like that.
It must be nice to actually go somewhere where there is a bit of a uniform, because the other place that she would go that would have that sort of uniform is a Taylor Swift concert where everyone's wearing a shirt and
Yes.
she can't really come out with a shirt of
Her
herself
face
on.
on it.
She can't do
So
that.
she'd be cheering for the
And
uniform.
even her makeup is like her glam. It's not like Kim. It's always the same thing, and we feel very safe with that. You know, even you could argue in a fast-moving world, it feels safe to know that we're always going to get the same thing from her.
Yes.
And even wearing just a cashmere sweater to the game, I just find it so lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the thought of her sitting in her apartment in her comfy clothes, listening to this episode.
Being like, it's not that deep, babes.
Yeah, just going, some absolute dribble from the
Psycho.
girls again.
I know. And do you know, well, if she is listening, then what I will also say is that if she is wearing Versace bodysuits for, the concert, or it's Oscar de la Renta or all of these brands, I also don't think, because she's so well loved, we don't hold that against her.
No.
We want her to be wearing Vivienne Westwood. She has enough stripes to be...
Kate, she's not actually listening.
Yes, she
Calm
is.
down.
She may even be watching this video, and if you are, Taylor, no, I know she's not.
Well,
But she's earned what she has.
Yeah, exactly.
So I
Yeah.
don't think even it's like you'd be overwhelmed with excitement for your best friend when she gets the guy, or she gets the brand new pair of shoes, or the pretty dress for the prom. It's that kind of...
You go,
Yeah.
girlfriend.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
Well, I'd
I
like
know
to-
she's not listening.
I'd like to
Or your best friend.
I'd like to end and ask, what was
Yes.
everybody's favourite look from the Eras tour with the costumes that we've known?
Well, that we won't see anymore.
I thought the dress she came out in was pretty amazing. The
Yeah.
huge purple dress.
Yep.
And I also thought I loved the Lover bodysuit.
That's my favourite.
That was quite magical to see her in the thigh high boots every night.
But my favourite Lover bodysuit is the pink and blue one with the
Yes.
silver boots.
Which I
Not a
think we
fan of
got,
the oth-
didn't we?
We did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got that on night 2, Kate.
Did I?
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
trying to think of my favourite outfit. We don't have all day.
It's okay.
And
not- it's not like
Taylor,
this-
you can fast
Taylor's
forward
list.
through this bit.
Not like there's a clock ticking or anything.
Do you know what? It grew on me. Is the Reputation, the bodysuit with the one leg and the boots,
Yeah.
and the snake and all of that stuff. But I liked the man where she wore it was the tuxedo.
That was nice.
With the boots.
And we did see, because I was lucky enough to go 2 nights, I saw like a black pinstripey one, and then I saw the classic silver on one of the
I
other
liked
nights.
I think we got the silver together.
Yeah.
I liked the silver.
Yeah.
And I like that my daughter liked like that, because I
Yeah.
thought she'd go for your more traditional princess-looking dress. And can wear a cape, Taylor Swift, when she did that 10-minute
and
song.
not look
With the hood, like the
insane.
red. Yeah.
Anyway, I think it's all very interesting. It's probably not that deep, but as always with Taylor, we love to make everything that she does that deep and make it a theory and make it an invisible string of some kind. So I've really loved deep diving into thinking about why she wears what she wears, even if there's no truth
No,
behind
she
it.
just wants to be comfortable.
Yeah.
We got through that whole thing.
Fits in Whipper with Kate Ritchie is a Nova podcast. For more great shows like this, download the Nova Player via the App Store or Google Play.
The Nova Player.